Yesterday, July 24th, was the deadline for Bryan Kohberger to submit his alibi in his case. Did he provide an alibi? Let's dive in and learn more. Hi everyone, Empowering True Crime Alex here, and we're talking about the Idaho 4 case. For those of you who aren't up to speed, this is Bryan Kohberger is the defendant in the killings of 4 University of Idaho students, Maddie Mogan, Xana Kanodo, Ethan Chapin, and Kaylee Gonzalez. That was back in November 13th, and the trial is set to start in October. And one of the things that the prosecution asked for is Bryan Kohberger's alibi. And they actually extended the time. The defense asked for an extension of time. The prosecution and everyone granted that extension. The deadline was yesterday. And this is what he submitted. We're going to go over the document now in a second. But before we do that, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, you want to get the latest breaking news on this case and other true crime cases from more of an empowering angle, more victim-focused angle, then please subscribe to my channel. All right, let's check out the document. So this was submitted by Ann Taylor, who is Bryan Kohberger's public defender. And that's my dog rustling around. And okay, so this says, in the District Court of the Second Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Latah, this is the notice of the defendant's response to the state's alibi demand. So this is not actually the alibi itself. This is the response to the state's alibi demand. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby files notice in response to the demand for alibi and in compliance with Idaho Code 19-519 and Idaho Criminal Rule 12.1. Mr. Kohberger notes that Idaho Code 19-5194, subparagraph 4, preserves his constitutional right to silence as well as to testify on his own behalf. Mr. Kohberger stands firm on his constitutional right as well as the statutory recognition of that right. Noteworthy is that an alibi indicates a line of proof by which the defendant attempts to show that he could not have committed the crime of which he is accused because he was elsewhere at the time. A defendant's denial of the charges against him does not constitute an alibi, but as soon as he offers evidence that he was at some place other than where the crime of which he is charged was committed, he is raising the alibi defense. Mr. Kohberger's defense team continues investigating and preparing his case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than the King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules as well as statutory requirements. It is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state as well as calling expert witnesses. Dated this 24th of July, 2023 by Ann Taylor. Okay, so he didn't actually give an alibi, right? So the alibi demand deadline was July 24th, which was yesterday, Monday. So this was just basically the response to the alibi demand. So a couple of things that stood out to me is right here where it says Kohberger, he preserves his constitutional right to silence as well as to testify on his own behalf. So in the United States, you do not have to testify. You do not have to make any statement that could be incriminating. You don't have to make any statement. You don't have to testify on your own behalf. But at the same time, you could testify. So here he says, hey, I can remain silent and also I can testify, right? So then the other thing is, here he says, a defendant's denial of the charges against him does not constitute an alibi. But as soon as he offers evidence that he was someplace other than where the crime of which he is charged was committed, he is raising the alibi defense. So he's already pleaded not guilty because he stood silent. It was a de facto and not guilty. So basically he's saying he didn't do it. Okay. That itself is not an alibi. And then down here it says the team is still continuing to investigate and prepare the case. Evidence corroborating Mr. Kohberger being at a location other than the King Road address will be disclosed pursuant to discovery and evidentiary rules as well as statutory requirements. They're not actually giving an alibi, but he's saying that there might be evidence that will come out that may show that there's evidence that he was at another location. In addition, It is anticipated this evidence may be offered by way of cross-examination of witnesses produced by the state, as well as calling expert witnesses. So he's saying there might be evidence that shows that he was at another location, hence an alibi for Bryan Kohberger, by cross-examining witnesses that are brought by the prosecution and them calling expert witnesses. So no alibi, but there is kind of like, I mean, it's a really, such a defense team move, right? Not give the information, so not give the alibi, but basically place that doubt of, yes, there might be this evidence, and yes, by cross-examining the witnesses or by calling expert witnesses, the actual alibi evidence will appear. So that's my take on it. And so what do you think? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I mean, to me, of course, there is the innocent until proven guilty, but I believe that this shows that he doesn't have an alibi. One other thing that when I was looking at the documents, there is a motion hearing on August 2nd, and it's about the evidentiary items. And so that's going to be, it says it's an in-person hearing. So that, I believe that there was mention in one of the last couple of hearings, that there was going to be an evidentiary hearing in August. So this must be that. And I'm not exactly sure what's going to be covered, what type of evidence is going to be covered here. If you know, or if you're aware, please let me know in the comments. And as soon as I know if I have any update on that, I will let you know as well. But this was the notice of the in-person hearing. And so that was filed on the 17th. And that will be August 2nd, which, let's see, what day of the week is that? That is Wednesday. So that is next Wednesday. That evidentiary hearing will happen. Let's see if it's public. If it's public, then I'll definitely be covering it, and then can bring you some more updates on what that's about and what comes out of that hearing. All right, everyone, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, if you learned something new, I'd appreciate if you hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please join the empowering family. Let's be the empowering voices for Maddie, Ethan, Xana, and Kaylee, and other victims, survivors, and those who can't speak. All right, everyone, with that, stay safe, stay thriving, always follow your intuition, and make sure to keep it empowering. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications. Thank you.